Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Radio Entrepreneurs. Again, as I've always said, my name is Jeffrey Davis. I'm host of Radio Entrepreneurs, also co-founder of the Family Business Association over my left shoulder or whatever. And to the bottom is my consulting firm, Mage, LLC, since 1985, working with leaders and entrepreneurs to help them achieve their strategic goals and visions. And our next guest is Edward Olano, co-founder and CEO of ArrowDiagnostics. Welcome.
Welcome. Hey, good morning, Jeffrey. Good morning, everybody.
Thank you. First of all, Edward, can you tell us about ArrowDiagnostics so we know what we're talking about?
Yeah, so we are a startup company that combines nanotechnology and machine learning to develop an inexpensive, non-invasive diagnostic for fatty liver disease. I think what makes us very special, Jeffrey, is that although we're focused on fatty liver disease, the goal is to create a diagnostic to catch this disease early. We have a very versatile platform, so we can easily look at other diseases such as cancer, even viruses, as well as non-biological applications. So we, for a time when we first started the company, we were focused on environmental diagnostics. But right now, our main goal, working with doctors in Boston, is to create a non-invasive diagnostic for this disease.
Well, it sounds pretty exciting. Can you give us the process of how all this evolved into what it is today?
Sure. So, I'm a chemist by training. I grew up in San Diego, California. I went to UC San Diego for my chemistry degree, then went for grad school, University of Texas at Austin. So after UT Austin, I worked in industry, worked in Latin America, worked at academia. I was also a program manager at UCLA for many years. And I always wanted to jump into business. Now, when I was a grad student, I took a few business classes, but never really enrolled in an MBA program. About 4.5 years ago, I got together with some friends. Jared Jacob, my co-founder, I met through a common contact in Los Angeles at the time. And we got together and we decided to do what we had not done in grad school, to start a business. We were crazy, had no idea how to do it. Fast forward, I met some great people at the American Chemical Society. They had an accelerator back in 2018, 2019. I participated in the accelerator. I was flying out to the DC area every other month. And that's how I met all my connections on the East Coast. To fast forward, met some great doctors at Boston Medical Center, at NYU. We asked them, Jared and I asked them, what is a crucial problem to solve? And we got involved in fatty liver disease. It's one of those diseases that about a third of the American population has, and it's very challenging to detect. Now, just because you have elevated liver enzymes does not mean you have the disease. And the problem with the disease is that once the symptoms are very obvious, you're no longer early stage. You're most likely a candidate for liver transplant. So to make a long story short, I moved to Boston, started working with collaborators at BMC, also NYU, met a lot of my business contacts, some of my business advisors also from Boston and Pittsburgh, and we decided to start the company. It's been a challenge, and we've never done this before, but we've made some progress in the last 2 or 3 years.
Well, yes, I'm sure it's very hard to go from concept to public use. How long is the technology expected to be before it's in public use?
I'd say another year or two. We right now we're working to close our seed round, and we hope to close it this summer. We have 2 angel groups from the area that have a commitment in the round, and then we have to file our 510(k) FDA application. So I'd say we're cautiously optimistic 2 more years, but yeah, 2 more years.
So we're not going to be fast tracking it like the COVID.
No, I mean, I wish we could, but anytime you work with government agencies, it always takes longer than you expect.
Right. And I in my reading up about you, I found out that there are other verticals, that there's applications for what you're doing. Could you talk about
Sure. So when Jared and I first started the company, we were focused on water diagnostics, specifically coming up with a quick way to test frac water. And so we were working in Pittsburgh, talking to a lot of companies there, Consol Energy, trying to sell our product to people in the Pittsburgh area. So yeah, water diagnostics is one vertical. Another vertical is other diseases, as I mentioned. We've been approached by a lot of people during this pandemic to look at viruses. And so that's something we may do later on. Another vertical we've been working on or have been approached by is to help develop an anti-venom for snake bites, just specifically when snakes bite dogs. There are different types of snake, different type of venom. So there's different verticals that obviously we don't have the manpower or the funds to look at more than 1 or 2 verticals at a time. But once we get more success with our current vertical, we'll definitely either license our technology or work with other people to explore those other verticals.
So give our listeners a sense of what are your next steps over the next 12 months in your process.
Well, right now we're working to close our round, and we're crossing our fingers that we'll close it this summer. You know, COVID-19 threw us for a spin, but things have picked up recently. We'll be filing our FDA 510K Class 2 FDA application. We'll be working with BMC to finish our clinical trials with the validation of the disease, and also hopefully start generating some revenue. You know, although we're waiting to get clearance for our diagnostic for fatty liver, we can make some chips in the lab. Chips are basically our product, what we use to do the detection of these compounds. And we've been approached by a lot of folks who start selling our product to some researchers in the lab, you know, whether it's MIT or university researchers. So pretty much to sum it up, complete validation of our technology with clinical trials, file our 510K Class 2 application, and close our seed round.
Interesting. You know, you mentioned COVID coming out of it, and I've noticed, do you find that the funding has changed over the last 3 to 4 months?
I think when COVID first started, there was a lot of push to develop quick diagnostics. You know, there was programs from the government, you know, NIH. I think that's still there. You know, the space is very crowded. There's a lot of big players in the COVID space. So definitely, I think moving forward, there's going to be a more of a push for inexpensive diagnostics. So I think we're as ArrowDiagnostics is well positioned to take advantage of that. There's many ways of detecting things, and I guess at the end of the day, you want something that's inexpensive, user-friendly, and accurate, right? And I think we fit that bill. And
how many are you in the company today?
We're five folks. As well as about 3 major advisors, so about 8 people. But Jared and I are the main co-founders. Murph McKeon, who's also right now on this call. Murph McKeon is our VP of Finance, who we're very happy he joined our team last fall. He brings a lot of experience in commercial medical diagnostics.
Interesting. I'm an ex-Ethicon guy out of J&J earlier in my career, so I know it's not easy to make these things happen. Have you looked at partnering potentially with other companies?
Yes, we've been, because fatty liver disease right now is also our main vertical. There's several pharmaceutical companies, such as Intercept Pharmaceuticals, that are working on therapies for this disease. And so we've been talking to them in a very preliminary fashion, and hope that we can partner with them once they get their FDA approval.
Interesting. We've been speaking with Edward Olano, a co-founder and CEO of ArrowDiagnostics. My name is Jeffrey Davis. I'm also of Mage LLC. A very exciting technology. You know, what can we expect? Any breakthroughs you think we could expect in the next couple of years?
Well, I think, you know, our diagnostic is versatile. So although we're focused on fatty liver, we definitely are providing end users with an inexpensive product, right? So, you know, we hope that if we partner with the right folks, whether it's a pharmaceutical company or continue working with Boston Medical Center or any other hospital, that we can provide a tool to physicians. So I think what would be great is if we have a tool that doctors can touch when they see a patient that needs a quick diagnostic. You know, you go to the doctor, they do blood work on you. Usually you get the results within a few hours, but sometimes blood work is not enough. You know, you need to dive in further, right? And any disease, if it's caught early, you know, you have a good chance of making it. When it's caught late, you're in trouble. So I think, you know, and so does my team, that we're well positioned to be a part of that new innovation. And so it all depends what happens in the next few months, and we remain very positive. We're open to working with anyone in the Boston area. Anybody that's going to be listening to this later on, contact us. You know, we keep an open door. If we have a way to partner up with someone, we'll definitely do it.
You know, it was interesting with the COVID vaccine, how collaborative the industry was with information. I'm just wondering, how competitive is your business?
It's very competitive. There's some big players. Roche Diagnostics is one of the biggest players in the diagnostic field. So it's very competitive, and we hope that perhaps one of our exit strategies later on in a few years will be an acquisition for one of these bigger diagnostic companies. So yes, it's very, very competitive field, but our competitive edge is that we can do it quicker and more inexpensive, and it's user friendly.
Edward, if somebody were wanting to know more about Arrow Diagnostics or connect with you, how would they find you?
They can go to our website, and there's a link there to contact us. They can also reach out to me at olano@arrowdx.com. So one of those two ways is a quick way of reaching us. We check those accounts every day, and I check my email constantly. So they reach out to us, they'll definitely hear with us within a few hours to about a day. And so, like I said, again, we keep an open door policy. We'd love to work with a lot of people. One of the things that I like about Boston, being a transplant from California, it's a very collaborative environment. Not that California wasn't collaborative, but I think here, you can walk down the street and knock on some doors, and usually people will talk to you.
That was a nice comment about Boston and the culture that's evolved here in terms of science and the professional community. Edward, I want to thank you for being on the show. Remind everybody, this is Radio Entrepreneurs, always staying up to date on the current trends in organizations, leadership, entrepreneurship, and we will be returning with more stories after this break.
Yeah. Thank you, Jeffrey. Thank you, everybody. Bye.
Thank you.